I just want to summarize the effective impulse momentum on an object which comes to a stop like this here. So we've got a mass traveling with initial velocity u, and it finishes off with a final velocity v. And so the impulse force times time is the initial momentum minus the final momentum minus the initial momentum, which just works out as being the momentum that it had in the first place, negative because it's going in that direction. Now, if we plot the force against time for that, assuming that it hits with really sharp impact, so it happens over a small amount of time, that means that the force will be very high because it will be for a small amount of time. So the force times time is you've got a big force for a small time, giving us that change of momentum. If we manage to, by using a crumple zone or putting some cushioning in, or if this was somebody jumping onto the floor, if we can extend the time of contact, you end up with a smaller overall force. That's because the area under the two graphs is the same. So the actual change of momentum is the same. All we've done is we've reduced the force because we've made the time greater. Okay, so if in the case of a car colliding with another object, if the collision occurs over a small period of time, the same change of momentum happens over a short time and gives you a big force. If you can maximize the time by putting a crumple zone in, the average force is smaller, but the change of momentum is constant because they've got the same mass traveling with the same initial speed. Obviously, what's better to do is to have less momentum in the first place. That's why driving slightly more slowly is safer than driving very, very fast.